And off we go. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you all for being here and giving me the opportunity to serve you in some small way. So my obeisances, everyone. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhu evacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnava namo namaha. Our prayers to Srila Prabhupada for his blessings, his empowerment, and his presence. Mam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvashesha Shonyavari Paskicha Deshe Dharane. Hi. So I have a feeling this is our group for today. Tomorrow, seems like a lot of people are coming tomorrow. Some had to switch. So anyway, we have the only questions I received. Rasika, did either you or Tirtha Prabhu submit a question?
No, no, Gurudev.
All right.
I did not.
Okay. All right. So I liked Carol's question, and let's go to. It wasn't even really a question; it was a comment, and I wanted to comment on top of her question. So I'm going to just put that to. I just print it out. Okay. All right. Carol said, "Good morning, dear Gurudev. My question today is, what is the mystical nature of experiencing something for the first time, like art or music, and instantly connecting with it? The first time I saw the reincarnation image, everything instantly made complete sense. It was a beautiful, wordless answer to lifetimes of questions simply upon seeing the image. So, what I need to do is show you the image, and we can discuss the image. And so, let me go back to that image. I just had it up. Go here. And here it is. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. So give me a moment. Let me come back to Zoom. And close this guy. Here. And here's the image.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So Carol was kind of amazed. I don't want to put words in her mouth. Um, Carol, I'm going to let you speak, but as I remember, you were saying, well, I just read it, that it all instantly came in very mystically. You looked at this and you understood it completely, whereas many people would take a look at this and say, what the heck is going on here? So, Tirtha Prabhu, what would you say about how it was that she got it right off the bat, where some people would never really get it?
Well, yeah, I have a response to that, but before I do, Carol, can you explain more of what it was you felt, what it was you experienced when you saw
Good,
the image?
great.
It's interesting trying to actually put it into words. Um, but when I saw it, I just said, "Oh, of course." And it just was like, how come somebody didn't tell me this sooner? That's how I felt, and just like
Right.
It just seemed like,
I'll
yes,
tell
Duh.
you.
there was no
le-
investigating. It was just like, that's me. 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 I am, I am, I am. Just resonated the infinity symbol. I mean, everything about it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
Where's the infinity symbol? I missed that. Is there?
I kind of, it's in the center where the death and then the birth are, kind of in the air,
Yeah, I've seen it before.
isn't it?
I don't see it.
To me, it looks
Yeah,
like the two circles are,
those two circles,
Oh yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
see
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
together, it's an infinity symbol.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's clever. That's
Yeah.
clever.
that's the
Oh,
beauty of art is, it's in the eye of the beholder.
oh
So,
my
and
God! All right.
you can share what you see with the other person, and yeah, it
Right.
gets even bigger
So
and deeper, and yet so it's so profoundly like just obvious or simple. I can't think of another word.
well, tell us before Tirtha Prabhu makes his comment, just to be sure, tell us what you see in that image. What is it that you got right away? What's going on in this image here?
I mean, in one word, infinity, and what we're all doing
What
every
what
day.
what 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 are we doing?
Well, as far as human beings are concerned, and not so much spiritual beings, but human beings are, our bodies, we are born, right? We age,
Right.
we
Okay.
decay, and then we go right back through it.
Okay.
If you don't get it all together in this one, yeah.
That's the essence. That's the essence. That's the essence. We call that the samsara. Tirtha Prabhu, what would you? But 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 remember now, she hasn't been around devotees
Right.
much, and
Right.
she's a newbie, and she looked at this and boom. So how's that happen?
Well, I believe that, okay, in Vaishnava teachings, we are all devotees in our heart. We are all originally devotees. So it's more a matter of remembering. And when one sees an image, they can remember something that they knew and maybe couldn't exactly verbalize, but a picture suddenly brings this gestalt click where they remember. And I remember when I'm trying to think what year it would have been. This would have been really in the early days of the movement. This was probably in 69 or something like that, 68, 69 at the Kansas State Fair. So that must have been real in the early days, but I didn't even
Yeah,
know too much about it. I was at the Kansas State Fair that has hogs and goats and cattle and sheep and all these kind of animals and people who learn to raise these animals and many times learning to raise them for slaughter. And I was walking alone through the fair. I was with a group, but at this point I was alone. And I saw a guy with a shaved head, which in 68, 69, that was very, very rare to see a guy with a shaved head. And he was sitting at a table. Uh, he had set up this table in the middle of the fair. And he asked me if I was interested in any of the books, but I didn't look at the books. He had up an image or a statuette, and I stared at it and immediately got it, immediately understood it. And I was probably eighth or ninth. I was probably ninth grade, about ninth grade. And it's the image of like a cow or a bull with a human face, and above them is standing a man with a cow or bull's face with an axe. And there's blood all over him. Now, I grew up in a very meat-eating family, very Christian family. I saw this image, I immediately understood it. It immediately went to the core of my being. Now, the person with the shaved head said, "Are you interested in this image? Do, do you think you understand it?" I said, "I absolutely understand it. I absolutely get it." "Well, tell me what you think you see in this." And I began to articulate it. And I don't think he expected that from someone in middle school, from a Christian background, to immediately get it. And I've wondered, how did I get that? How did I know? And I think it's a kind of remembering what our spirit already knows. That's
Got it. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. And that's a correct answer. I would add to that, or what popped to my mind and answered the question, is that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, um, "Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto." I'm seated in everyone's heart. Matak shmitir jnanam apohanam cha. And I am the source of all remembrance and forgetfulness. So all of our knowledge is really coming from God. It's coming from Krishna. And now we read about Krishna in about Supersoul. Krishna is everywhere, right? He's within every atom. He's between every atom. There's nowhere that he isn't. But he also says, "I'm within everything and I'm not within everything." But Supersoul in our heart is always with us. And Supersoul is guiding us. And he's speaking to us. Sometimes we're able to, sometimes we will hear, and sometimes we won't hear. But I would say, because Supersoul knew that you're ready to understand it, he could communicate that to you in unlimited ways. One is, you're going to read it in Prabhupada's books, or you're going to meet with a devotee and the devotee's going to explain it. Or he can just do it any way he wants. He can just, here it is. Here. He will immediately enlighten you to that picture, what's there. But the important thing is to know that when anything that we're getting, it's not just mystical. There's a reason for everything. And we know that Supersoul in our heart, he's there. He never left us. He comes and goes everywhere else. But in our heart, he's with us. He's been with us in the heart of every living being. And he's giving them the knowledge that they need. Like, for example, let's say a beaver. Beavers, they're able to build these amazing dams that sometimes even baffle the engineers. I mean, they're so incredible how they can build that. Or a spider makes a web. Or there's it's just quite an art, the way they weave it. And it's, if you ever look at a spider's web, they're like, whoa, that's really, really cool how it's just like, it's like an engineer made this so it's going to be strong enough and do what it needs to do. It's all it's all coming from Supersoul. Or like the what's a Hawaiian name for them? Kalea bird? The the birds that they fly from Alaska to Hawaii. They're plovers, golden plovers. And they fly nonstop from all the way in Alaska to Hawaii. So that's a couple thousand miles. Now, interestingly, the parents leave before the babies. It's not like they're following mommy and daddy and learning this route. They're on their own. They don't fly in a flock, to my knowledge. They they go alone and they know exactly how to get here. How's that possible? It's only possible because God is, Krishna in the heart is directing them. So when we get some realization, I'm thinking it's either I'm hearing from Supersoul, or it's really the same, or my guru is communicating to me. Now, you're not initiated, of course now you have a guru, but Krishna's in her heart, and when there's no guru, he's going to direct you to a guru, just like he directs the birds to come here. And when you see something, he can either let you have it right off the bat, whereas other people, they don't want to know Krishna, so he's not going to let them understand it. Or if they understand it, it's just like you kind of understand it, but it doesn't really go to the heart. It doesn't really. It's not the way when you saw it. It's like, whoa. Just like when Tirtha Prabhu saw that image, he understood it completely. So he's a Christian. He was a Christian at the time. So it could have been Jesus, God in his heart. Who knows? But one thing we know is it didn't come out of thin air. It came from somewhere, and that's what I would say. Does that make sense, Tirtha Prabhu?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And to say that we remember it, um, this is thought. I'm kind of speculating around here. We may have never really thought about this, or kind of we never may have never really known what was going on. But one thing is for sure is either it's remembrance or it's like a first time thing. It does Krishna can just give it to us. It does either way.
Right. And by remembrance, I mean our soul. I don't mean our mind.
Hmm.
I mean our soul can remember things that we have known in the past, not in this
Even
not
if we
in
didn't
this
know,
life.
even if we didn't know it in the past, Krishna can give it to us, or it could be, as you're
Right.
saying, right, from
Right.
previous path. Now, that may really apply to Carol, because again, she became a vegetarian at age 15. That tells us
Mm-hmm.
a lot about her. Nobody, there was no mentor.
Right.
She just knew this is not good, and I'm not
Right.
eating meat anymore. That
Right.
tells us something.
That's awesome.
That she's been around, that she's been
That's
on this
awesome.
path, and she's just coming now to finish up her business.
Right.
So
I
yeah, so she
tried.
could be remembering that.
I tried as a teenager, but um, and the fact that, well, I mm, and I suppose this is another question, but I believe that the soul can carry with it remembrance of what it's gone through in the past.
Absolutely.
And so this is showing the cycle of what we go through. So I think the soul can uh, remember that process when it sees it displayed like that? Now, some people may not, but I think some people, but because it's showing, according to Vaishnava teachings, we've gone through this millions of times. So why wouldn't the soul have some understanding of this?
Because it doesn't want to. It
Yeah.
doesn't want to know, and Krishna's a source of forgetfulness as well as remembrance. So yeah, and clearly all the experiences, life after life after life after life, somehow, and I've never read this explained anywhere in our scriptures, but one thing we know is that sooner or later the soul has had enough. So there has to be some, some effect from all the previous lives when we finally get to the point is, why am I suffering? Why am I?
Mhm.
And that's when we ask the question, Keami, who am I? And can I, am I Jodi Tapatroi? Why am I suffering in this world? So this the soul finally, somehow that's there. Somehow there's a hard drive or something that may not be see it all at once, but there's some, we're gradually, everyone will wear out and finally turn back to Krishna. Shikha Bajari, Prabhu, you have anything you wanted to add to this?
Yes, Mother Carol gave a lot of good points. I think it's very nice to talk about this. When you're reading the question about the music and the arts, we're seeing everything in relation to Krishna. And so this is important that we're seeing even this material world in relation to Krishna, and we're seeing all the pain, the suffering, everything that we're going through, that this is Krishna's arrangement in some way. And for us to endure this and for us to learn our lesson and then finally go back home, back to Godhead. But I really had that realization when Gurudev was reading your question that, make sure to see everything, even the paintings, the songs, even it may not be Krishna related.
Thank you.
We have to see it within Krishna because Krishna is residing in every living entity. And then the other thing that I really liked on this conversation was that, this isn't our first life. We're picking up on past impressions. A devotee may have crossed our path some life and we may not have been interested. We may not have been serious, but Krishna is he's going to preserve what you have and carry what you lack, and that's in every lifetime, whether we become a devotee or not. He's made that commitment to preserve what we have. And so whatever devotional service we've done in the past, we're picking it up now, and in this very lifetime we get to finish up and go back home, back to Godhead. And so
That's
it's a sorry, Gurudev, go ahead.
no, it's good. No, it's good. That's great. You've added a lot. Um, I forgot in the question about music and art and so on. And
Yes.
really, one of my first religious experiences, if you will, um, Tirtha Prabhu will be able to relate to this, I think, the best. But I'll try to share it with all of you. I was in. I've been playing drums, in school, in the band, and the dance band and orchestra since I was 10 years old. They they sent this picture around with all these in our basic like homeroom class, and it had the pictures of all these different musical instruments. And it said, if you want to learn how to play one, just check it. So I looked at the drums. I thought that's pretty cool. So I checked that, and then anyway, so I was very much into studying percussion, and it must have been about 1965, could have been four, but 65 and maybe the very, very beginning of 66. One of the world's greatest drummers, Joe Morello, who Tirtha Prabhu knows. You know Joe Morello, right?
I know of him. Yeah.
Take Five. He played with Brubeck
And
all those years. So he was putting on at a music store in Baltimore. He was putting on it's called a drum clinic, where he basically teaches. and he played. He wanted to demonstrate what a sloppy drummer, how a sloppy drummer plays. So he played, and I thought, he can't even play sloppy if he tries. I mean, when I heard him playing, it was like a religious experience. How can anybody be that good? How can anybody be that? It's like I thought it's beyond human capability to be that creative, and that the way he was playing was just beyond. And like to this day, I listen to. I can't help myself. I'll listen to John. I was listening to Coltrane just the other night, playing My Favorite Things. Have you ever heard that, Tirtha Prabhu? Um, Coltrane playing in 3/4 time. Anyway, so he was improvising. He was playing soprano sax, and it was like, it was so good that it was just making me. I just couldn't help but be thinking of Krishna the whole time with that brilliance of what he was playing. And Tirtha, you may be aware of many. They have John Coltrane churches where they play his music. It's mostly black people, but they listen to Coltrane at their church because he
Hmm.
was so. It's a whole story about Coltrane. Coltrane, I'm really getting off track. Coltrane was a heroin addict,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a great musician. He was playing with Miles Davis and so on. Great musician, but he was getting fired from his jobs because of his heroin addict. So Coltrane decided that he locked himself up in a room and he prayed to God for the first time. He said, "My dear Lord, help me, help me kick this heroin habit, and I'll be devoted to you the rest of my life." And sure enough, he kicked this habit, and then he started playing. All his stuff was spiritual. Like one of his most famous albums is called "Love Supreme." It's all about love of God, and yeah, he became really really influenced. Um, So the Christians, they have, you could Google it or look on YouTube. But yeah, it's a whole thing with Coltrane and music and God is God's message coming through music. So yeah, when Rasika Pujari was speaking, that was coming to me. Yeah, through music. I listen to music, and it's like, and and then the other thing runs through my mind is, man, this is just this is just a kind of like a lower middle a lower middle class planet. Can you imagine what the jazz must be like in heavenly planets? And that's nothing compared to the spiritual world when Krishna blows his flute, and in his flute, you know how music can like put you in different moods. It can
Mm-hmm.
make it like a good violinist. He can make you cry, right? You just listen, you start crying. So, but Krishna, he actually enters into the sound of his flute, and it can steal anyone's heart. So the music, when Krishna plays his flute, rocks melt, and rivers flow. They flow backwards. Yes, this is all in scripture, all in our books. So yeah, music. And so we listen to a bhajan. Some may listen to a bhajan and not get it at all. Prabhupada singing. But when we have the ears to hear it, or the poetry of like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we listen to the poetry, love songs to Krishna, or he's praying for mercy, praying for mercy. We can enter right into it because it's spiritual. Anyway, whoa! Look, we did a half an hour already, and we have one more question. So let me read that one, and then
I like that you talked about arts and painting and music and
oh
all.
yeah,
And I know Gurudev spent a lot of time talking about, the material glories of this world. But it's like you've seen the creation. Now go see the creator.
right.
Krishna
Thank you.
Krishna is so unlimitedly beautiful. We can't
Yeah.
even fathom how beautiful Krishna is. And in talking and realizing all of these things, Krishna went to school with his brother and Sudama. And in 64 days, they had learned all the 64 transcendental qualities. So the art of sewing, art of music, art of painting, all these different things, Krishna had learned it. And he had perfected it within the 64 days. I mean, imagine being a perfectionist drummist in 64 in one day. He learned
Right.
one quality in 64 days. And on the other hand, you look at the gopis. The gopis, they didn't go to school. They didn't have much literacy, but they were so expert in whatever service they were offering to Krishna. And I think that's just so beautiful. You look at, how much love Krishna has, is that, any devotional service, whatever capacity we're able to offer. And Krishna with the flute, one of his names is Murlidhar. And Murlidhar is one who has the flute in his hand, essentially, and enchants the whole world with this flute.
Mm, yeah.
And so Krishna's qualities is unlimited, and Krishna is unlimited. But you see all of these qualities, and we have a little taste of it. The Coldplay, he may have had some impression in his past life, and maybe he goes on. But these are qualities of Krishna. And in seeing devotees, and seeing devotional qualities in each other, we can say that, okay, this person is doing some nice quality. Krishna is also a musician. Krishna is also a painter. He's a master of the rasas. And so when we look at other people, we can see qualities of Krishna within them, and that's gonna very much help us to, not see the bad, but see Krishna in everybody, which is our real ultimate goal, is to always remember Krishna and never forget him.
When I was before I became a devotee, but I was reading Bhagavad Gita, I could spend hours looking at the pictures
Mm-hmm.
in the Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada called them windows to the spiritual world. Windows to the spiritual world. So yeah, they can be empowered by Krishna, that you get that realization just by looking at that painting. And I have many that I love looking at it. There's that saying, which is true: a picture speaks 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
But even more than that, Krishna can enter into that picture. He can empower that picture, so it's not a material picture anymore. Krishna is like reciprocating with you, and he enters into that picture and draws you in. So yeah,
I
great.
had, could I just add a couple comments?
Sure.
Okay. But I want you to definitely get to your other questions. Um, when you were talking about, I had to make notes because I get so involved with all this. Wonderful. When you were talking about what was the kind of the species of bird that knows where to go? With
I think it's called kaleo, kaleo or
okay,
kalea or kaleo.
okay. But
I
then you
can
said
I
golden
can look.
something.
It's golden plover,
Oh,
Plover.
okay.
It's
Anyway,
it's a
that's
Pacific. There's many types of plovers. It's called the Pacific plover.
okay.
So if you look it up, Pacific plover,
Thank you.
I
That's
think
good to know
I'm
too.
almost sure it's kaleo.
Okay.
It's a Hawaiian name for them.
Thank you. Um, so those types of birds that know, you said that they knew where to go to fly nonstop, and their parents went before them. They didn't
Yeah.
go with them. Um, it made me think about the two stories that I shared with you in my childhood, where I got dropped off at a ballet class when I was
Oh
about
yeah.
5.
You walked
Nobody,
home.
yeah, nobody knew that there wasn't a class, and so I told Guru Dev that I walked in the door and I watched my mother drive away, and then I looked around. I Memory is a little bit fuzzy, but I remember just distinctly like, oh, I guess I need to walk home. and I walked home 2 miles or whatever it was by myself, which would be kind of unheard of in today's age, right? A
Well,
kid walking.
where was your cell phone?
Right, right. Yeah, and no one bothered me along the way. No one tried to help me. No one tried to hurt me. It just I was on my way and I got home anyway.
Yeah, that's a
So
great
that's
example.
in that story, and then the other story where I got onto a crowded elevator with my whole family in Hawaii, and I was probably about six or so, and I had managed to get to the front where the doors were, and the doors opened, and I got out. A few other people got out, and the doors were shutting. And I saw my dad saying, "No, no, no, wait, wait, wait." And the door shut, and my whole family was there. And then I'm this little kid on the floor by myself. Like, anyway, so those two things just made me feel like, um, I don't know, like those birds. And ironically enough, or maybe not ironically, there's a page in my baby book where there were notes made when I was a little girl. And one of the questions I asked my mother was, "Will I be a bird when I grow up?"
Hmm.
Oh,
So maybe I am.
well, you could. I mean, you can be a bird in the spiritual world.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're
Like
pretty.
I'm going on by myself, or not by myself, but now I've met my family, you people, everyone who's a devotee, and my life is so much richer than it was when I had my actual family living. Yeah, because most of them are gone now. I'm kind of the older generation. So yeah, the interesting life, and it feels like it just keeps getting better.
Mhm.
Sweet.
By the way, I looked that up, Guru Dave. The Hawaiian is kolea.
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 Yeah. Koleo is a different kind of bird from West Africa, but kolea, yeah, flies between
Kolea.
Alaska and
Kolea.
yes. Hmm.
So I had it backwards. I had Kaleo. So
Yeah.
Kolea is I switched the positions on the O and the A.
Yeah.
It's part of my dyslexia, or I'm not that smart. But anyway,
You're smart.
Kolea, and that's a whole nother subject about who's smart and who's not smart from Vedic perspective. I mean, not everybody is like Donald Trump that has a 180-degree IQ. Did you know that? What are you laughing about? You're low. You're low intelligence.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, we'll stay away from politics, which I find fascinating. It's unbelievable what's going
Hmm.
on. Unbelievable. Only in the age of Kali, and it's a symptom of age of Kali going on. That this total idiot is he's a madman. But well, I can't help myself. Something amazes me more than Donald Trump. The fact that he's such a jerk. What amazes me more, I mean, he's sick, right? He's sick. But there's so many people around him that really aren't sick. Well, they are. They're sycophants. Anybody know the word sycophant?
I do, and I'm just gonna jump in, go right to the point. It's all about the money. It's all about the greed. It's all about the
Hmm.
power and the money, and that's just where it ends. I mean, and they will surround him as long as they can feed off of the profits.
So that all of that makes me.
It's gross.
A lot of them are very bright. Like who's the
Hmm.
speaker? What's his name? The speaker.
Mike Johnson.
Yeah, I mean he's apparently a really bright guy, but but that blows my mind. They can't see what's going on. But yeah, it's well, we could say it's the money, But the reason it's the money or this or that, it's the age that we're living. It's the age of Kali Yuga. And everything is being contaminated, which is supposed to be.
It feels like it's almost being magnified as well. Like it's
Yeah.
always been going on, but it's starting to build this
Yeah.
like crescendo,
Yeah.
effect.
But it's going down, and it will go down for the next 427,000 years. I mean, it's going to really get decadent because we've seen it in our lifetime, haven't we? We've seen it, just morals and everything. Just when I was a kid, divorce was basically unheard of. If somebody's parents were getting divorced, back when I was in elementary school, it was like, it was like a big deal. Anyway, so let's go to the other question, the other thing we wanted to talk about, and that was, let me read it.
And pardon me, I need to go at this time. My apologies.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for being
Yeah.
here. For now, you're going to miss the. Well, there'll be the recording. We're going to be discussing about one thing. One thing I've noticed is that shopping is no longer interesting. It's simply something that needs to be done.
Uh-huh.
I shall deliberate on the remembrances and look forward to our upcoming discussions. So
That's good.
we're going to talk about
That's good.
the comment that something she
Right.
really enjoyed, she doesn't enjoy anymore.
Right.
And I'm going to take this in a very interesting direction.
Good. Well, horrible.
All
Pardon.
right, well, thanks for being with us, Prabhuji. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
rest. Please don't get dragged around, dragged here, dragged there.
Well, I'm actually speaking at a friend's funeral this evening. And
Well, that's
so,
okay. I love that. That's my favorite. I love
yeah.
speaking at funerals.
Yeah. All right.
In Sanskrit, they call it smashana vairagya. That's when, because of the nature of the funeral, someone died.
Hmm.
Everybody, they're like open to hear.
Right.
They're
That's
they're
true.
they're open for the message because they're
Right.
hurting. So you'll do wonderful. I'd like to know how that goes. But
Thank you.
you've done probably hundreds of funerals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
See y'all later.
Haribo. Okay, Hare
Okay.
Krishna. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Okay, so where we're going to go with this is, well, let's see. Rasika Prabhu, what would you say?
Yes.
What wisdom would you add to the fact that she's now reached where shopping that she used to enjoy, it's now a drag?
Yes, there's a few things that I could say, Gurudev. The main thing, like I said before, is to always remember Krishna and never forget him. A moment that we don't remember Vasudev is a moment that's wasted. So everything that we're doing, all of our devotional service, it should be tied to Krishna in some sense. Chanting, reading, looking at Prabhupada's books or paintings or whatever, but everything should be in connection with Krishna. And just like meat eating, as we progress in spirituality, or as we gain some consciousness, or as this is revealed to us, this love of Godhead, we're going to start giving up our old habits. For example, as a devotee, we look at smoking. Oh, that's a bad habit, we don't want to deal with that. Or meat eating, we don't want to do that anymore. Or drinking, we don't want to do that anymore. So as you go up in your taste, you have a higher taste, all these lower senses will go away. But one thing is that we shouldn't be so quick to give up our attachment. Let's say we have attachment to shopping in some sense. We can always dovetail that attachment to Krishna and shop for Krishna. We can buy something for Krishna. We can do something for Krishna that's very nice. And any service that we do to Krishna, we're going to get, 100 times the benefit because it's to Krishna and it's not to someone else. Like just like Valentine's Day, we buy flowers for our loved ones, and it's a huge thing where people buy, flowers and everything. But you offer one flower to Krishna, you offer a palm full of water, you offer a leaf to Krishna, and your entire life is made. Krishna's gained your favor. He works through devotion. It's the method of barter here, where we offer some devotion and he gives us, reciprocates with us. There's a nice story in the Krishna book about the fruit vendor, and Krishna is seeing his parents barter with the fruit vendor, and so Krishna takes a palm full of rice, and Krishna's hand is probably the size of my finger right here, but there's at the end Krishna's walking, 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 and all the grains are falling behind him, and there's just a little one or two grains of rice left in his hand, and he presents this to the fruit vendor because Krishna wants a mango. And the fruit vendor sees his devotion essentially, and she's so pleased with it that she just offers the mango to him and takes the 2 grains of rice, whatever he had left. But it's a great example. You said shopping. Krishna is a shopper. He's the greatest shopper. you know he's taking 2 grains of rice, and he had a fistful of rice in the beginning, and he's using that to buy a mango, and to have that, and then ultimately, as he's turning around, the fruit basket turns into just such opulent jewelry. But any habit we have, whether it's good or it's bad, eventually Krishna's going to take away everything, and at the time of death, we're only going to be able to remember him, hopefully. Just like the gopis, they can't think of anything other than Krishna. Even Mother Yashoda, her mind is constantly on Krishna. What is Krishna doing? How is Krishna going to be okay? Why aren't the cowherd boys taking care of him? And so, as we progress in spirituality, as we strengthen in our chanting, our reading, Srila Prabhupada's books, appreciating everything, really understanding who Krishna is, and to be able to not only look at the paintings or anything like that, but to be able to understand what the Shastra is behind that, we're going to start losing a lot of these lower senses. And it's ultimately to detach us from this material world. But anything that you have, whether it's good quality or bad quality, try to dovetail it to Krishna, and to make sure to use it in Krishna's service. You were talking about paintings. I don't know if you've seen the painting of Narsingadev. Narsingadev is half lion, half man, and he
Oh, okay,
has
yeah.
he has someone in his lap, and he's ripping up
Mhm.
the intestines.
I
And
just saw that
so,
picture yesterday.
yes, yes, and so one can look at that picture and appreciate Krishna in that form. But a real devotee can look at that picture and be able to understand what it means. And I don't know if you know Jadurani Mataji. I don't remember her name that Prabhupada gave her, but her
I
name
knew
is
it.
Jadurana Mataji. She painted for Srila Prabhupada. So most of the paintings that you see that are in the books, she painted. She hand painted them. And so one time she was painting in Los Angeles, and she went up to Prabhupada's room to take a picture of to show a picture of Narsingadev. And Srila Prabhupada made the suggestion. He said the eyes should be crossed like this and like this, and Srila Prabhupada animated it just like Narsingadev would do it. And she remembered that, and she painted that exact picture. And it's because of Prabhupada's mercy that we're able to, have the vision to be able to see this. Because if not, it's up to our own interpretation. And even in, Om Agyana Trimantasya Gyananjala Shalakya Chaksur Umritam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namah, by the mercy of my spiritual master, the torchlight of knowledge, the darkness is going away. So, even though we're slowly starting to detach ourselves and to understand that, hey, this is some quality that may not be good, we're using it to Krishna. And at the time of death, hopefully, well, Krishna will remember us. If we're not able to remember Krishna, Krishna will remember us. But we should make the endeavor to always remember him.
Nice. So yeah, let me. Yeah, that's a lot of what you said was a direction that I wanted to go with this, and that is almost, well, literally everything that we do, we want to connect it to Krishna. So let's say you're going shopping. Let's say you're getting some food. You're going to buy some. You're going to go get some groceries for Krishna, so you can cook for him, bake something nice, cook something nice. If you're thinking about when you're shopping, you can be remembering Krishna, even if you don't, because it's hard to at our stage remember Krishna every moment. You're thinking about, oh, is this right? Is this a decent price? But you're shopping. You may not be thinking of Krishna directly, but your mission was to bring some food home so you could cook for Krishna. That's all connected. Now, what about if you need a new mop? How can that fit in? Well, the
Krishna
mop,
says, oh,
the
sorry, go ahead.
mop, you're going home to take this so you can clean your house, right? Your house it's really, now you're starting to realize it's Krishna's house. It's a temple that you have the honor of living in. So there's practically everything we do can be, if we're doing it for Krishna, it's joyful. So let's say you're going to go buy some clothes for yourself. You want to get new, but this is for your body, and you're using your body in the service of Krishna. You've got to go out and do things so you want to look nice and so you can interact with people. So maybe you can tell someone about Krishna. Everything you do can be connected to Krishna. So you should be able to, if you enjoyed shopping before, I assume you did, then you should enjoy it, still be able to enjoy shopping. Just if you connect it to Krishna's devotional service. So I can, the only things I could think of that you can't, let's say you're not a vegetarian yet, and you're going to go and you're going to buy some hamburgers, that you really can't connect that to Krishna. But I would imagine that everything in your life, whether you're going to the doctor because you have some issues with this or that, it's all connected to Krishna. This is Krishna's body. That it's not your body. Krishna gave you this body to use in his service. So everything you should enjoy shopping, and like I go to the market. We have a farmer's market. I go there all the time. I thoroughly enjoy it. I may not be thinking of Krishna directly at every moment, but I'm looking at the vegetables, and I'm looking at the one person. He grows very exotic fruits. So I'm getting these really nice fruits for Krishna, and maybe I got to go get a part for one of my boats. But in my boats, I mostly kayak. I go out and kayak because it's really good for my body, keeps me healthy. And when I go out kayaking, I'm just thinking, so beautiful and relaxing that it's even picking up that part for my kayak is, ultimately, at the bottom line is it's connected to Krishna. And there's hardly anything that we can come up with that you can't connect with Krishna. And that's how you should be feeling with everything you're doing.
Mm-hmm. I think what has kind of shifted for me is that um, I know I have everything I need and then some.
Uh-huh.
And so the going and getting thing is just kind of, I've just kind of gotten a little dispassionate about it because I don't feel that material desire, to go and just get more stuff because
Well, what
quite
stuff?
frankly,
Give me some examples of stuff you might get.
okay. Oh, well, let me just get to the reason behind it and then maybe I'll think of an example. But the
Okay.
reason behind it is because I've watched three of my family members pass, and just seeing like all the stuff that they've left behind, and all three of them, my two brothers and my father, it's been on me to go through the things, figure out what to do with them, you know, and it's just been a lot. So it's just brought a lot of awareness to like, I don't really need a closet full of clothes. I just need, just the basics. And there's a few things that might make me feel a little more special than others or for different occasions. And I get having variety. I guess I'm just realizing kind of the waste of time and the waste of energy and the waste of money in just getting stuff. And stuff would probably be um, additional clothes, shoes, additional makeup or perfume or stuff like that, or spending more. what I really love spending money on, I guess if I'm honest and I'm really looking into it, is I love art. And so I buy a lot of paint and canvases and just little things I think I'll use. And that brings me joy. And there's Krishna there. But I don't,
Excellent.
yeah, I don't really feel a heaviness. I just, like I said on the screen there, it's just something that needs to be done. Like I need to go get a few things for my house, toilet paper, whatever, toothpaste,
Yeah, that's just Krishna's
shampoo.
body. You need to have that stuff, and you're using
Right.
it in Krishna's service.
But in the past, I would think, oh, goody, I'm going shopping. I'm going to get the things
So
that are on
switch it,
my,
switch it. Now
right.
I'm going to get stuff for Krishna. I
Okay.
mean, getting the toilet paper for Krishna. This
Right.
is Krishna's house. It's Krishna's home. You have to start connecting everything to Krishna that's connectable. And there's
Okay.
very little, I bet there's very little in your life that you can't connect. You got by chewing tobacco?
No.
All right. So we don't have to worry about that one.
Okay.
Uh, um,
Okay. So what I'm saying is I'm just not as trying to get that fix, that dopamine or serotonin fix by shopping. Like I'm not clicking and putting stuff in my cart, like sort of like, oh, that'd be cool, that'd be cool, that'd be cool, and then wait for it, and then you get it, and it's essentially empty. It's just stuff. Then you have to take care of it. Then you have to insure it. Then you have to, you know what I mean? You have to. So I guess I'm not trying. I'm slowly becoming less of a maximalist, and I'm trying to
okay.
just really get down to, I only need like, well, I don't know, 10 shirts and 10 bottoms, and you know what I mean? And I don't need to have 50 pairs of shoes.
Well,
So that part, I'm peeling
that,
back the layers of
yeah.
thinking that the material stuff is the good stuff,
All
and
right.
I'm getting
So,
into to what's better, which is taking care of me, which is the soul stuff, I
okay.
guess.
So now your life is changing. So now
Yes.
as you go shopping, you can think of connected all to Christian. By the way, I have tons of stuff. Um, it's just, I like cooking for Christian. I got all kinds of cooking stuff, which I use it all. Most of it, some stuff, maybe not. I have
Same here.
huge,
I
I got
love cooking.
a huge tool. I have a tool shed, and then I've got a big, huge tool thing with all, because I fix things all the time, fixing my boats or fixing things around here. I like to be able to, if something breaks, I can fix it. I'm a fix it person. If something happens with the toilet, I can go in there and fix it. So I got tons of stuff. When I leave this world, it's going to be, all right, where's all the stuff going to go? That's okay. I A lot of the important stuff. I've actually made a list of, who's going to get where my truck is going to go. I think I'm going to get my truck to the Krishna temple. I'm going to, my boats. Some of my friends that I have, they're not devotees, but they like being with me. They like picnicking and sailing with me, and we talk about Krishna and other interesting things like AI. This guy's a professor. We talk. So I mean, I've got all kinds of planting stuff because I love horticulture. I've got anyway. I got lots of stuff, and when I'm gone, it'll disappear. But I'm not. It doesn't bother me. It's there.
I think I've just felt the heaviness of the stuff, and it's the heaviness of three other men's stuff. No offense, but my brother was a mechanic, and so I have like, and it's not, I'm gonna, it's gonna go to my sons and it'll get passed out and stuff. I just don't want to leave that much stuff behind. That's
A
sort
lot, a
of
lot.
where I'm coming from.
That's fine. If that bugs you, then
It does.
get rid of some of it.
Because I've
But
had to be the one to solely to deal with it. And then I know I've shared with you, and not to go into family history, but there's just so much infighting in the family about the stuff, and I just loathe kind of the stuff. So I think when I unload it, it's just gonna feel like, I
okay,
don't know, like I took a shower, like it's gonna feel so clean and good.
whatever one of our great teachers, Rupa Goswami, one of the great gurus in our line, says if something is if something increases, what is it? What did he say exactly? If something helps your devotional service, accept it. And if something is
Isn't favorable.
yeah, favorable. That's a word, right? Things that are favorable, we accept. Things unfavorable, we reject. So, and everybody's different. So certain things that I may want to reject, somebody doesn't. That's okay. We're all different. So whatever is favorable for devotional service, we accept. We and a lot of shopping and things can be all connected to Krishna. I have to go. In fact, speaking of shopping, I have to go to Costco. I have to go to Costco today. I've like run out of important stuff, like my almond milk, which I drink lots of. And anyway, I got to get a
Mother
coffee
Ca-
in my.
Mother Carol, have you read the Krishna book or Bhagavatam yet?
I
She's
have the
working.
Krishna, yeah, I have the Krishna book, and I'm looking at in the fall probably having the big series, the installation, I guess, at my home, and having the ISKCON group do it. But yeah, I've just started with Srila Prabhupada's life story. It's the 7 book volume or
Yes.
7 volumes in the set. So that is I'm just engrossed. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm there and I'm with him and I'm walking and I'm listening, and yeah, you get a really nice point of view or perspective reading those books. I
I
feel
want. I wanted
immersed. It's
Carol.
good, good.
I wanted Carol. You were running out of time. I I wanted Carol to start developing her relationship with Prabhupada.
Yes, good.
Is
Yes.
really, really, really important. And it's one of the things in ISKCON that's getting a little eclipsed.
Yeah.
So I sent her the all the Amrita, and so I want her to really connect with Grandpa, her
It's working.
granddad Prabhupada, yeah. And
And
that's
Yeah.
this nectar you're experiencing, Mother Carol, is it's just taste right now. And it's gonna get deeper and deeper and deeper, and there'll come a day where you're not gonna be able to forget Krishna.
Mm,
right.
Mopping, I don't like mopping either, but in Dwarka where Krishna lives in opulence, the floors are so shiny that they look like mirrors. You can see
mm,
yourself in the floors. And so, when you're mopping, you can think of that. Krishna has a pastime of that. And I really like your last point about the shopping and all these qualities, all these stuff that we have in our house that's unneeded. It's also in us. There's a Shisastika Mischeto Darpana Marjanam. We also have not so good qualities, which we have to kind of, wean off of those not so good qualities. But we can say that for another day. But it's a very
okay.
nice discussion, to
Yeah.
have that, we have material hoardings, but we also have hoardings which are not so good to our spiritual endeavor.
Okay, well, I think we covered a lot of ground today.
Wow. Thank you both. Your answers were very enlightening.
Yeah, I will say the main point, Carol, is that we want to connect everything we're doing to Krishna, and there's almost nothing that we can't connect that we're doing, whether you're kind of straightening up your stuff or you're getting rid of your stuff. Um, either's okay. Either's okay.
Yeah.
But we can do it for Krishna. Straighten up our stuff, get rid of some stuff, whatever is favorable for your service. But we should be able to remember to connect everything to Krishna, everything that happens in our life. If we stub our toe, some kind of karma. Krishna, thank you. Krishna is arranging every little thing.
Yeah.
I often think when I'm driving, like I'm on my way to the temple, and I'm getting every light red. I know Krishna's just messing with me, which is cool. I think of Krishna. All right, it's fine that it's red. Krishna made it turn red. Everything's under Krishna's control. Or if they're all green and I get there early, all the lights are, whatever it is, we see Krishna behind it.
Mm,
So we want to connect everything to Krishna, every little thing we're doing. We want to connect it to Krishna. So when I'm heading off to Costco, and I may have to, if they don't have a backup drive I need for my computer, then right across the street, a place called Best Buy. Do they have those on the mainland?
Yes.
Best Buy. So I'll go there and buy one. But it's all so I can have, if my computer's not working, how can I communicate with all my students? And so I take Krishna with me to Costco.
Love it.
I'll take Krishna into Best Buy with me, and
Or is he taking you?
both. I think I can argue either side of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we want everything, practically again, everything except for your chewing tobacco. We can connect it to Krishna. All right. Thank you both so much for being here. And Carol, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, because
Yes.
we'll have a bigger crowd.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. It's great being with you. Haribo.
Haribo.